Welcome to Etap Sports Xtra, the home of smart football analysis and of course also predictions. And yesterday, of course, we got many games that have been played, and Bristol City was a team that we were giving our opinions. But today, of course, we got many games that are coming up, and of course, every day we got one that you also give your own analysis and your thought about it. And of course, today we shall look at Manchester City, who are actually having a game in hand, and once they play today, the gap, and they win the match, of course the gap between them and Arsenal actually will just reduce to 2. And remember, it's still a tough game, a tough journey for both the teams. And if you're to look at top 6 still, there is a big stiff competition there, and any drop in points costs you a lot and a very big step behind. Now, we are starting with the Liverpool that are currently sitting on the 6th position, behind Chelsea, who are all those who are sharing points, just a goal different, and of course maybe actually the game, of course, that are the goals against. And West Ham rather, of course, in the last 5 games, they won 2, draw 2, lost 1, and they sit on the 18th position. And we know West Ham so much of being a team that actually surprised some of the teams over the weekend. But all in all, we say soccer is soccer. They pick up a point against Chelsea. Now Liverpool is off in the last 5 games. They won 3, lost 2, which actually helped them. They look like they're back to that winning way, which is okay for them. Now, in the last, of course, 10 games that West Ham and Liverpool have played head to head, you find that Liverpool has won 9. And there was only 1 single draw, and in the last 10 games, West Ham has not beaten Liverpool. Now, what does this mean? What are some of the formations? What are some of the goals that are scored? Of course, you see the different. Liverpool scored them 5-0, 1-2, 5-1, 3-2. So you find that Liverpool enjoy playing West Ham. Now, if you're to look carefully between these 2 games, recent form of Liverpool, we can say that is very outstanding compared to last season, where Liverpool actually was among the title contenders, and of course they took up that actually trophy. Now, the thing here is, basing on the analysis and the records and the head-to-head play, this one gives Liverpool the upper chance of taking all these 3 points. So let us just see these formations and currently Liverpool, how they're performing, to give us that Liverpool may likely take all the 3 points from this game. Then we got Inter Milan versus Genoa. This is back to Serie A, and of course we know that Inter Milan has been one of the team that have been actually outstanding other teams in their league, but was beaten up by Bodo, the team in Champions League, that has made them surprised, knocked out of the Champions League competition, the team that I thought would move further, but things did not go well for them. And Genoa, of course, right now sits on the 14th position in their league. And if you're to assess the game head-to-head move of this very team, Inter Milan has won 7. There are 2 draws. So Genoa has not beaten actually Inter Milan in the last 10 meetings. So this gives really a gap or a move to that Inter Milan as well got an upper chance of taking all the 3 points based on the analysis, and of course the head-to-head records. Goals will be scored, but of course let's try to see that Inter Milan will take all the 3 points. Then the third game that is going to be a determinant for the title gap is Leeds versus Manchester City. It's a game that is going to be a very, very tough game. And of course, we know Leeds of being a very troublesome team. Yeah, if you to look at them. But of course, if you had to say it's also the formation in that last one game last season, in fact, last year, 2025, there was a stiff game that ended the 3-2 in favors of Manchester City. They won 3-2. And I'm telling you, Leeds is a team that if you give them the gap, they can easily find the back of the net. It's a team that is very difficult, that has disturbed Chelsea home and away this very season. Chelsea failed to pick up a win against Leeds. But can Manchester City do it back to back this very season? That is what we're looking at. In the last 5 games, of course, City won 4, draw 1, and Leeds won 1, draw 3, lost 1, and they sit on the 15th positions in Premier League. And Manchester City just 22nd position, just a small gap between them and Arsenal. So in this game, let's also go with the trusted that Manchester City, based on this history, can take all the 3 points in this game. So there we look at Liverpool, Inter Milan, and Manchester City. We expect them to take all the 3 points basing on the analysis and the statistic, and of course their recent form. Now, another game of today is Galatasaray versus Alanyaspor. This is back to the Turkish league, and we know that Galatasaray has been also one of the teams that are outstanding and performer in Turkish league. And of course, in the Champions League, they qualified to the next stage, though they were beaten by Juventus in the second leg at 3-2. But in the first leg, they impressed. They bet Juventus of 5, and which is actually still in that history for this team. So Juventus right now sits on the first position, and in the last 5 games they won 3, they lost 2, and Alanyaspor of course won 2, draw 1, and lost 2 in the last 5 games. They sit on the 10th position. So in this game, you find that the head-to-head meeting between Galatasaray and Alanyaspor, Alanyaspor has never beaten Galatasaray in the last 5 meetings. So, and you find that there's 2 matches that has ended 4-0. Galatasaray has beaten actually Alanyaspor 4-0. This actually in this 4 or 5 head-to-head meeting, and you find that there are some that ended also 1-0, 2-0, and we expect the same thing to happen. Of course, we expect a lot from Galatasaray since they want to keep up and take up that trophy. So in this game, we are expecting, of course, more than 1 goal from this game, because we look at the goal machinery, the likes of Osmia. Those are the people who are impressing, and the attacker, the defending, they have the good defense at the moment, although injury may cause them some alarm. But all in all, Galatasaray games, we expect more than 1 goal. Bournemouth versus Sunderland. Now, when Bournemouth sold their actually striker, the forward, that's Menu to Manchester City, we thought things may not look good for Bournemouth. But in the last 5 games, of course, Bournemouth won 3, draw 2. They haven't lost any game in the last 5 games. And right now, they are struggling to remain in this Premier League and qualify for the Europa League. But all in all, we'll see what will come out of this game. And Sunderland in the last 5 games, of course, lost 4, won only 1, which is quite alarming for them. And if you have to assess their head-to-head meeting, Bournemouth won 2, there are 2 draws, and Sunderland only managed to win 1 against Bournemouth in the last 5 meetings. Now, based on the statistics of head-to-heads and of course our analysis, we see that this game will produce goals. Yes, Sunderland can also find the back of the net, Bournemouth as well. So we expect to see more than 1 goal from this game. Yes, being that basing on their performance this very season, Bournemouth is scoring goals almost in all the games they are playing this very season. Then Coventry versus Stoke City. This is a championship that we know that Coventry right now is doing very well, and they sit on the first position in that very league. Stoke City sits on the 13th positions, and Stoke City in the last 5 games, of course, they won 1, lost 2, and drew 2, and of course Coventry won 3, lost 1, and drew 1 in the last 5 games. And we saw that game they played, of course, last week, that also they pick up a win. And if you're to do the analysis, see the head-to-head meeting between these two teams, Coventry in the last 5 games, of course, back to back, of course, Coventry won 3 and Stoke City won 2, but the margin of goals were minimal. Yes, there's some games that ended 1-0, 1-0, and then the minimum was, I think, in 2023 there, whereby they scored, the game ended 3-2. Yes, and but most of the game ended 1-0. So this game is going to be a very tricky one. So we expect also to see that more than one goal is a little bit secure for this very team, because any team can find the back of the net, which is actually good for them. So we expect more than one goal, of course, in this game. Then another team which is in National League, that is Crewe Alexander versus Tranmere. Now, Crewe Alexander is one of the team that right now is doing quite well. They won three matches in the last 5 games. They draw 1 and they lost 1. And Tranmere is suffering with only 1 win, and they lost 4 matches, which is quite there, tricky for them. But in the last 4 meeting between these two teams, Crewe won 2, there was 1 draw, and also Tranmere won 1, which is quite good. But all in all, in this game in championship, we also see how they were scoring goals. The goals between them was 2-1, 1-1. You find that both teams were able to score. But right now, Tranmere, if you're to look at their attacking side, they are currently doing well and they're back. So they're conceding goals a lot. So we expect to see this game. Also, we expect more than 1 goal, of course, in this game, because we see that both sides got a little bit weaker defense at the moment, so can easily push up, force the attackers can push up and penetrate their defense and find the back of the net of this game. Then another game that we are not forgetting is Morecambe versus York. Now, I love this team called York. In the last 5 games, they won all, and York has been a outstanding team, a good performer this very season. And then also Morecambe is not bad, but in the last 5 games, they only picked 1 win, they lost 2, and they drew 2 in their actually league, the National League. And right now, they're a team that always, if you to find their matches, but also if you to look at this current head-to-head meeting between these two teams, you find that most of the teams were able to find the back of the net in the 5 matches, which was quite fine for them. And now in this very game, we are expecting to see more than actually 1 goal in this game, because you find that both teams are good, and if you're to follow the head-to-head meetings, this gives them the upper chance of seeing goals in this very game. Now, the third game in the third, of course, our package is AFC Fylde versus Curzon Santos. That one, of course, still in league, National League, of course, 1. Now, in the last 5 games, of course, AFC Fylde won five matches, and of course, Curzon won 3, won 2, lost 2, and draw 1. And by the way, this gives us to see that Fylde has been on form. They won all the matches, and always they keep scoring goals. This is a game that always you find that there are 3-2 games, 5 goals, 2 to 3, of course, goals, and then 1-2, like that is the team that is good at scoring. betting, of course, in the statistic. And in this very game, we expect to see that the Fylde take over 3 points because of being a outstanding team this very season, and they're recently in a form. They have good goalkeeper, they have forward, they have attack. The midfield is very, very okay for them. So we expect to see them. They penetrate the defense of Curzon in this very match. Now, the game for today that I'll leave you with, there are two that I want you to comment and share, drop your opinion. The comment section is Barcelona versus Villarreal, and we know that this is the game for the day. And another one is Newcastle versus Everton. Please feel free to drop yours in the comment section. Let me know what you think about these two games, how it will end. Drop and you tell me. Of course, we said that winners never quit. If you enjoy, of course, this analysis, please share, like, and comment, and of course, drop your opinion. Don't forget. See you tomorrow at the same time for more football analysis. Bye bye. Happy weekend.